messed up really bad as a journalist. When you ask a question so horrific, you leave 3 seasoned professionals utterly speechless and looking like this.
We lost during the politically correct era, and what we have to expect in Hollywood after the MeToo movement and the Black Lives Matters are done. The two of you, Andrew and Julia.
Well, okay.
Can you repeat that? And I can, with your sunglasses on, I can't tell which of us you're talking to. So
the question was for Julia and Andrew. Now that the Me Too era and the Black Lives Matters are done, what we have to expect in Hollywood, and what we lost, if we lost something, with the politically correct era.
Well, I know that that's not for me, and I don't know if it's purposeful if it's not me, but I just am curious. I don't think it's done. I agree with you.
It's not done.
I don't think it's done at all. I think maybe hashtags might not be used as much, but I do think that there's work being done by activists, by people every day. That's beautiful, important work. That's not finished. That's really, really active for a reason, because this world is really charged.
Yeah.
And that work isn't finished at all. Maybe if there's like not mainstream coverage in the way that there might have been
daily headlines
in the way that it might have been 8 or so years ago. But I don't think that it means that the work is done.
Fill you in on what we don't see from this camera angle. This is the journalist who was asking this question. She is from Italy. She asks about 2 movements that were started by African Americans and says this question is only for the white people in the room. Contrary to what you might assume, this is not this woman's first time out in public. She has been allowed out in public before. In fact, she has a master's degree. She's actually a professor at the National Academy of Fine Arts. This is a woman who has had an education and is asking the most ignorant, bigoted form of a question, but she has since given us a response. This is her response. I will get out of the way so you can pause it and read it over. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I was so pissed off reading it the first time. I will highlight one portion. In her response, Federica says, the discussion continues solely on how I should have phrased the question. This has nothing to do with how she phrased the question. Words out of her mouth were, what did we lose during the politically correct era like the BLM and the Me Too movement that are now coming to an end? She is making the assumption that we lost something from being politically correct, and now that's ending. Political correct movement was not a movement. It is a space where now people are being held accountable for their actions. And this is not an era, this is not a movement, this is just a point in time where we can now speak out. We are still holding people accountable. It is a shift in everyone's views in a way that we can now move forward and become better as a civilization and as a planet. If this had anything to do with how she phrased the question, then why would she have specifically targeted the 2 white people in the room as the only people allowed to answer the question she just imposed? Julia Roberts even gave her a chance to change her question, and she still said, no, this question is for Andrew and Julia. And at the beginning of this question, she has sunglasses on, so they don't understand who she's directing this question to. Andrew hears the question about BLM, Me Too movement. What have we lost from this? And he assumes immediately that she must be talking to the 2 women in the group, right? The only African American and the only 2 females out of the 3 of them. And he turns and looks at them, utterly stunned, but knowing this question surely could not be for him if she's leaving one of the 3 of them out. The only person she left out was the one African American female. Has the audacity in her response to say, I'm unjustly accused of racism. I get that you're from another country, so English may not be your first language, but I don't think there's anything unjust about any of the accusations that are hitting you right now. It'll be interesting to see in the next week what happens to someone who blatantly belittles the BLM and the Me Too movement and says being politically correct has taken stuff away from us, as if losing the directors and producers and owners of industry who were targeting people who they knew they could get away with and harming, by losing those people and holding those people accountable, as if we as a community, as if actors, as if the entertainment industry has lost something, not actually made a huge step forward, just goes to show you who she is, and that maybe in this new politically correct era, maybe she's one of the people we should be leaving behind also.